You know what you're listening to right now? It's called Two Bass Hit. It's by the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra with Wynton Marsalis featuring Jon Batiste. The song is on the new album, the music of John Lewis, which is a tribute to the late jazz composer and pianist. Lewis was a mentor to Marsalis, the album's executive producer. Charlie asked him about his contemporaries back in 1984.
Wynton Marsalis, are we slowly beginning to appreciate jazz musicians? Because, I mean, most people would say that we have not recognized the genius of jazz musicians, primarily because 90% of them were black.
Right, and I don't really think that we're even approaching recognizing it. No, I'd have to answer truthfully, I don't think so.
My goodness.
Wow.
Now that y'all ran us both out of here.
You both look good.
I don't know what was more surprising, your mustache or Charlie holding
What's
it.
that? Goodness. Our guests this morning are doing their part to highlight the jazz artists of the past and future. Trumpeter Wynton Marsalis is a managing and artistic director of jazz at Lincoln Center. Jon Batiste is a pianist, composer, and band leader for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Good morning.
Great to have you guys.
The #1 late show in late night TV. Congrats.
Yes, indeed. A lot of hard
you and
work.
your team.
Thank you very much.
That interview was 1984.
Yeah.
Has it changed?
Oh, yeah. A lot has changed since then. First, we changed a lot. But I mean, a lot has changed, you know. There's been a lot of change in the scene, a lot more younger musicians for us with much more of the music available.
And what made the change?
I just think the momentum of the music, a lot of what we've done at Jazz Lincoln Center has helped, obviously, with the music. We still tour around the world, and we collaborate with a lot of musicians, but also the music is difficult to play, so there's always a lot of younger musicians who want to play it, which is what Jon represents, and what he's representing on this album is the quality of playing has gone up for younger musicians.
Yeah, talk about the collaboration, Jon, because you've known Wynton since you were a young boy, you said.
Yeah, I was 13.
How old were you? 13, okay.
13 years old. We actually would play basketball before we started playing music together. He had a nice J. But he had a nice
jump shot.
Tell the truth about it.
Left-handed. It's always catch you. But, you know, the music, I feel, is about bridging the gap between the generations. It's about sharing and breaking barriers that may be color barriers, maybe racial barriers, or maybe something about, you know, the older generation feels like what y'all doing is not happening. And the younger generation is like, what y'all doing is passé, that's old, we don't need that. When actually jazz is not like that at all.
Yeah. So did he reach out to you and say, let's work together? What happened?
Well, he called, and when you get a 30-year veteran from Kenner, Louisiana, call you up. And this was in 2013 to do the music of John Lewis, one of the most venerable, the highest level jazz composer, piano player. I had to say yes. It's the kind of thing where it's a challenge. It's an artistic Mount Everest to climb.
No, I love that. That's what you said in the liner notes. Artistic Mount Everest. I think that's very powerful. How did you know he could do it?
Well, I've known him since he was 13 or 14. There's not a lot of younger musicians, you know, the best of them and the most serious of them rise. And I mean, I've known him, so it's almost like we're in the same family. Leslie was talking about grandparents.
Yeah.
My father would be like a grandparent to Jon. My father taught all of us, me, taught Harry Connick, he taught all of us in that generation, and then even later generation with Jon. So the second he started playing, first I get a call from my father saying, "Man, you heard Lil Batiste can play." So, you know, we've been knowing, we have a generational relationship.
Nice.
And then even more than the New Orleans connection, he came to Juilliard, and he's in New York, and all the musicians are always talking about the younger musicians and who can play. And I have a lot of experience also playing with him and talking with him. He's been in my house many times. We're more like family members.
And going to Juilliard is an interesting thing because so many jazz artists are really very good musicians with a very sophisticated knowledge of music.
But you have to be. John Lewis being an example for all of us, as erudite as he was and as serious as he was about music and the quality of his playing. I knew Jon would be up to the intellectual study, understand who Mr. Lewis was, and then most importantly, coming to the bandstand, because when you get on bandstand, it's very nerve-wracking. He was also the music director. Like, he took care of all the people, he announced everything. He was so fantastic. Everyone in the band was like, man, my man is for real.
And I know how involved you are in arts education, and you've been awarded the National Medal of Arts by the National Endowment for the Arts. In this new budget that the current president is proposing, there will be a cut in that funding for the arts. What would be the outcome of a cut in those
I mean, there's so much wrong with so much that's going on in our politics, not just directed at him. We swinging back and forth like a ship listing in the ocean. Your national budget is symbolic. So you're basically telling the world, this is what we as a nation think about our arts, which is our collective memory, our wisdom.
This is what we value.
You know, whenever fascists or people who, and I'm not saying he's a fascist, or I'm part of any of that kind of bashing and ridicularity we're doing on the left, there's a reality to things. When we tell people our arts are not important, our wisdom is not important, we're preparing our public to be more ignorant so that we can exploit them more. Right. And we're going to realize that the white and black people at a certain economic level, a certain level of exploitation is taking place as intellectual. So you don't want to disconnect yourself from your intellectual tradition in any way. It's painful to see it. It's not just that many things, but yeah, it's painful and it's ignorant.
Yeah, people say if you want to know what the values are of a country, look at its budget.
Yeah, it's ignorant. We don't want to be viewed in the world that way.
Yeah. Well, it's so wonderful to have
Very
both
well
of you
said,
here.
absolutely.
Yeah. Wynton Marsalis and Jon Batiste, continued success. Thank you.